Day one of the finals. Who is excited? How are we all getting on? I am hyped. I'm so pleased with everyone who made the finals. Honestly, such a diverse list of athletes in the finals, and 4 Brits is absolutely brilliant. How are we all doing? Are we all ready? Alex is in the chat. How's it going, mate? How's it going? I've already had 2 monsters today, and I have got a third here ready for the finals to start. So I am pumped. I am hyped. I am trying to stay energetic because I am actually quite tired after the last few days, being non-stop making content and still trying to fit training in there as well. I did log press today, and Loz is absolutely bullying me into making my log stability be way better. So he's making me do a lot of strict press with a couple second holds at the top, and then he's making me do sets of 3, but I've got to hold log locked out for 10 seconds every rep, which is just horrendous. So my shoulders are pretty ruined, my triceps are pretty ruined, and my core is very ruined. So everything's a bit sore today, but luckily that means that now I've got the rest of the weekend to rest up and enjoy the World's Strongest Man finals. So does anybody have any upset predictions in the finals? Does any of the athletes who you didn't expect to make the finals, making the finals, change any of your predictions? It changes quite a few of mine. My podium still stays the same, but lots of people are going to be upsetting different things, I'm sure. Alex saying, going good, about to collect the deposit on a commission. So that's good. That is absolutely fantastic. Get your bag, my friend. Jane saying, coach knows best, lol. Well, yeah, after I dropped 122 kilos on the back of my head right in front of Loz, yeah, he is certainly going to be bullying me into getting my stability better. Because, yeah, I got plenty of power, but I'm not very good at holding it at the top. And that's not going to get any down signals, is it? So but yes, the finals are kicking off. Leon fell asleep last night. I'm still managing to keep up. Tonight might be a different story, though. I have a feeling it might be a bit of a late one tonight. Derek saying, all aboard the Reno train. Curious to see how he handles the more static events in the finals. Me too. Reno has super impressed me. I am really hoping he has a very good showing in the finals. Alex saying, I kind of hope Reno takes it. First debut win since Yuko. Yeah, that is a hard ask, to be completely honest. Like, Mitch and Tom are still the heavy favourites. If you look at the point distribution from the overall heats as well, like, they're a good margin ahead, and these are some very, very good events for them in the finals. So, Bronchop saying, Mitch, Trey, Tom, Reno, Paddy, Eddie, Luke. Interesting prediction. I am very similar in that prediction. I think Shane will do fairly well. I feel like Shane's training on like the 18-inch deadlift and stuff has been very decent, so I'd like to see Shane sort of like 5th or 6th in the final, but obviously a massive ask. And I still do think Tom's going to come second, but I do think Trey is going to be up on that podium. I'd love to see Trey have a stellar performance. I'd love to see Trey win, to be honest, but obviously Mitch and Tom are the heavy favourites, but I'd love to see Trey take it. I really would. Jane saying, hoping for an English athlete in the top 5 or even the podium. Me too. It would be awesome to see either Paddy or Shane in the top 5. Fred saying, what time does it start? I believe is it 2.5 hours, I think? Something like that. I don't actually know. I'm just assuming it's the same time as yesterday, which was 6 p.m. my time. So yeah, 2.5 hours time. Also, hello Fred. Glad that you managed to catch the stream. You haven't been in the last couple ones, so good to see you. Mark saying, I so want Tom to win, but I also want Loz's main man Mitch to win. Can they share first place? Owen Trey, 3-way tie at first place. That's sort of my thinking. Like, the British man inside me wants Tom to win, the Loz athlete inside me wants Mitch to win, and the Strongman fan inside me wants Trey to win. So if we get that podium, I'm going to be happy with whoever wins this World's Strongest Man. To be honest, I certainly won't be disappointed. Jane's hoping for a Trey win as well. It'd be awesome to see. Leon saying, Mitch, Tom, Trey, Nell, Flowers, Stoltman. That's very similar to how I have my top 5 in my head as well, to be honest. I do think with these events and that Flintstone press in there, that out of the English lads, I think Flowers is going to do a little bit better than Paddy. But, you know, I would be not shocked with how Paddy's been getting on so far this competition to see him doing quite well. Leon saying, Hart went on that one, lol. Yeah, really did. Bonchop, 2.5 hours, yeah. Fred has been working and still am. Well, grind away, Fred, grind away. Mark saying, I think Paddy has had a really good chance of top 5 grip in the Hercules hold. Yeah, Paddy's grip is phenomenal. He hasn't really been like properly tested on like a Herc hold. Really, I think he did one. Was it the Aaron Page Classic? He did a Herc hold. I think it did. I think it was, and I think he came second to Tiny. And if you guys don't know who Tiny is, that dude, his grip is ridiculous. Like, it is crazy good. So coming second to him on the Herc hold is good standing. So I think Paddy could definitely make at least top 3 on this Herc hold. It'll be very interesting to see. But Eddie Williams is another man that is very worth mentioning on a Herc hold. He is a very good. Ash is very happy with the finalists. Me too. Honestly, really pleased with how it shook out. Not at all like our predictions, but as I worked out in my recap video, I got 5 of the predictions right, and the ones I got wrong were all injured or ill or a Texas boy. So, there you go. Corey saying, hello, really enjoying the videos and your coverage of World's Strongest Man this year. Great job. Thank you so much. I am trying my best to make them as good but also as quick as possible, because if you're anything like me over here in the UK when World's Strongest Man's going on, when I wake up, you have to wait until like mid-afternoon for all the world stuff to start coming out because of the time zones. So I'm trying my best to get a good Worlds video out in the morning to satisfy all of the British fans there who are waiting around. So yeah, hopefully they've been good and hopefully they've been pretty timely for you guys as well. Bronchop forgot about Flowers. He could be top 5 for sure. Yeah, Shane's been awesome. I'm super pleased for Shane. I have a lot of time for Shane. I've not really spoken at great length with Shane before. I met him briefly at the SCL in Gloucester last time they did that, and he's a good dude. And a lot of what he posts online, the way he carries himself and answers questions, seems like a really good dude. So I'm really glad to see him doing well. Ash saying, I made a spreadsheet as if everyone competed against everyone. You'd be surprised of the top 10. Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see for sure. Andrew saying, Hart wants Tom, Head says Mitch, Trey third. Yeah, very similar boat here. I think Mitch is going to win. Tom in second, Trey in third. Jagstag saying, do we have any actual information on Nell for these events? He was the clear third in the heats. I know very little about his static strength. I'm in the same boat. I know absolutely nothing about the guy. I really should have done more research before this competition, but I'm kind of enjoying the surprise. So I'm just going to assume that he's going to be decent at everything because he has been so far. Max saying, what's up, mate? Hope you're good. Yeah, I'm doing all right. Curveball here. Outside bet on 2 Stoltmans on the podium. Maybe deadlift will prevent it, but stranger things have happened. I think it's very unlikely, but you know, it's possible. I've seen in the Stoltman's recap videos and the Shane video and MST's videos that they're saying Shane's been saying Luke wasn't his best coming into this one, so maybe if it was Britain's Strongest Man Luke, it would be a higher chance. But Luke's been in great shape and it could definitely happen. Panagios, I'm going to say. Hooper, Stoltman, Mitchell, in that order. I hardly believe. I think that seems pretty solid. That's the same as my podium. Liquid Bishop, how will Trey's hand nerve issues affect the Hercules and the hoist? I can't really say about the hoist, but I know that Trey's very good at the Hercules hold. His nerve issue is when his hands are down by his side in a frame or farmer's issue. If they're out to the side like that, it's not too bad. Or something about the impingement just isn't happening. So yeah, Trey's been very good at Herc hold in the past, so I hope he'll be good at this one. Andrew saying, we are getting to see a fair bit of coverage with all the vids going out. I know, it's been fantastic. This has definitely been the best Worlds for the fan experience so far, because we've had Strongman Radio, getting to hear the announcer, the crowd sound, all of that's been awesome. And then loads of video clips out there. I feel like I've pretty much seen the whole competition chopped up in bits, so really good this year. Ash saying, I'll share that spreadsheet if you like. Yeah, please do. I don't think you can post it in the chat, but if you post it on like the Reddit or something, I'm sure people will see it. I certainly will if it's on the Reddit. David saying, your videos are great for us East Coast Americans too, that are waiting for Strongman content before the comp starts. Yeah, I'm hoping that I just fill that gap, which seems to exist with obviously everyone being, like, all of the big Strongman channels, apart from maybe like the Lallis Bros, are all out in Sacramento, like Terry, you know, all of the athletes competing, Loz Liz. So, yeah, there's that weird time zone gap that I'm filling, so hopefully people are enjoying that. Fred saying, catch everyone later, back to work. Enjoy, Fred. Nice to see you in here. Alex saying, I know he's pulled 480 on an 18-inch deadlift and it looked pretty comfortable. Reno, I mean. Yeah, that's decent. I could see Reno doing very well then, so that's interesting. It'll be... I'm really looking forward to that event. I think I'm most excited about that 18-inch deadlift. I don't know why. It's just tickling something in me that makes me excited. Brian saying, enjoying your coverage, Toby. Cheers. Thank you very much, mate. Dominic saying, finals day one. Let's go. Yes, let's go. I'm super excited for it. Very, very much so. I cannot wait till we get kicked off. Max saying, on my previous comment, yeah, fair point. I was thinking Luke would still be in Britain shape. Would be stoked to see Trey win just to mix it up, and then Tom can win the Rogue. Yeah, I mean, I don't know at all what sort of like shape Luke's in, like personally. But from looking at his performance, he's looking pretty solid. But just from watching the videos, it seems like a lot of people are saying he's not at his best out of like his team and stuff. So who knows? And I would love to see Trey take a win. Ash saying 6 o'clock-ish for us Brits. Yes, as far as I know, yeah, it'll be 6 again. That's when they've started every day so far. But I'm just guessing. If Hatton didn't pass COVID and Singleton not injured, I think one of them had to be in Trey's place. By the way, I'm from Greece. That makes my name hard to say. Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah. Lots of difficulties there with, like, yeah. I mean, imagine we had a healthy Richardson, a healthy Singleton, and a healthy Mateusz all in the mix, and like a full form Lucas. Although Lucas did say himself in his Event 5 recap that like the COVID shouldn't be an excuse, he just needs to be fitter. So I really appreciated like that attitude from Lucas. Like he's got a great attitude when it comes to competing and strongman and the sport in general. Yeah, he just knows he needs to keep working and get better to fit the world's format a bit better. So I hope he does. Strength related, what time does the final start? Does anyone know? As far as I know, it's in about like just over 2 hours at 6 p.m. UK time. I don't know what time that is wherever you are, but yeah, as far as I know, that's the case. But I've not seen anything to say otherwise. I'm just going off the other days' start times. Ash saying, seeing as you have Loz as a coach, does he make himself unavailable during World's Strongest Man Week? Not at all. Loz is replying pretty much as quickly as he can. Like, genuinely, that man... Like, you'd think that Loz is one of the busiest people in Strongman, right? He runs a very successful channel. He's at every single competition. And yet, whenever there's a competition on, I've had no problem reaching him whatsoever. Like, I've done my training this morning. I sent him my training footage, and within 10 minutes of me sending him my footage, I was getting replies and stuff. So no, Loz has been fantastic this week, even though obviously he's going to be very busy, but he's still been replying, like, at least within a couple hours of me sending a message and stuff like that. So he's been on top of it. Leon saying, with very little data available for Reno, I was really surprised with his run on the Stone Medley. Yeah, I was as well. He's just been pleasantly surprising me with everything. He's just a proper, solid, good, strong man. Dave saying, I think Tom will win. He always seems to win World's Strongest Man. Mitch has his work cut out for him. It's a toss-up after Tom, in my opinion. I hope that I'm surprised and the podium has at least one new name. Yeah, I think it's definitely between Tom and Mitch. I think Mitch is going to be pleased that he's got that extra point on Tom starting off. The final, I think that's going to make a hell of a difference, even though it might not seem like it is. But these finals events are very good for Mitch, and with that hurt cold in there and not knowing how much improvement Tom has made on that, and a lot of good Hercules holders in this final, I think that leans towards Mitch better, because Mitch can win the hurt cold, honestly. And with people like Eddie Williams, Paddy Haynes, really good at like grip stuff, they could get in between Mitch and Tom on the hurt cold and cause him a lot of problems. But if Tom manages to pull it out the bag on the hurt cold, he's going to be hard to beat. Andrew saying, reading between the lines, Lucas been hitting a tough 3 was in his personal... Yeah, probably something to do with it. Max saying, noticing our Greek friend in the chat reminds me of the great Kyriakos Grizzly. Am I a fan? Zerchikari coming next in homage to my lord himself. Of course I'm a fan. I have been watching Kyriakos for a long time. In fact, I still believe that it's my most viewed video on this channel is me years ago messing around trying some of the Kyriakos Grizzly exercises and not doing a particularly great job. And that was filmed, like 3-4 years ago. But I still believe it is my most viewed video on this channel, funnily enough. Jane saying 6 PM UK time, 10 AM local for the carry and hoist, 9 PM and 1 PM local for the deadlift, and then 12 and 4 PM for the hurt cold. So yeah, not too bad. Thank you, Jane, for putting those timings in there. Peter, Reino Nell is the absolute dog's bollocks, winning SCL despite only being in the calendar for 5 minutes. Yeah, I love Reino. He is exactly more of what we need in Strongman. Get some of these unknowns absolutely dominating. The more of them we can get, the better. Dominic saying, that clip of Loz saying how proud he was of Evans was golden. Evans seems so nice. Yeah, Evans is an absolute legend. I saw a comment saying, I wonder if Evans is always like that or if it's just when a camera's around. As far as I've spoken and met with Evans, like, he is always like that. I said, met him at the SCL in Gloucester when he did that, and he was just like super hyped, super kind. I've chatted with him in DMs a couple times. Again, super nice. I have a lot of time for Evans. Oliver saying, I don't know why everyone is writing off Tom because of the hurt cold and the deadlift. They did the same last year with the Conan's wheel and he got it done. He got a 499 kilo Hummer tire deadlift in the past. Yeah, it'll all be dependent on where Tom's deadlift at. Obviously, when he got that Hummer tire deadlift, his overall deadlift strength was a lot higher and it's been down the last few months. But if he's brought it back up, he's definitely within a shot on that 18-inch deadlift. And the hurt cold is just a difficult one. Like in the past, he's not done great on it, and it's not something you can really improve quickly. A hurt cold. Obviously, training it's going to help, but a lot of it does come down to just how good your natural grip genetics are, and stuff like that. So if he's made serious improvements, and I'm sure he's been training it hard, he could be very, very good. But I will say Tom would prefer a different event in there than hurt cold, but I completely agree. We said the same about Conan's, and he got it done, so yeah, we will see what happens. Any idea when the full show will be uploaded to YouTube, just like the last year's? Absolutely no idea. Yeah, no clue. I'm assuming sometime after it's come out on the TV in America and possibly the UK, so I wouldn't hold your breath for it anytime soon. Leon saying, I feel like the deadlift for the final is weaker than expected. Might be hard for Mitch to stretch away from Tom. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one, this deadlift in the final. Obviously, Trey's in there, and he's insanely strong. And then there's a load of guys who I'm just not sure how will perform on this deadlift, because you're right, a lot of the people who are not so known for their deadlifts are in this final. So it's going to be an interesting one. It's kind of why I'm excited to see how it goes. Because we're missing a few of the guys that we thought and were predicting on this deadlift, so it's going to be wide open. Vital saying, I don't see a bad event for Mitch. Yeah, me neither. I mean, does a bad event for Mitch even exist? Let's be real. Bring me my flail. Good morning, afternoon, everyone. Thanks for keeping my dog and I company on our run. No problem. We are going to be here for at least an hour's time, if not more. Ash saying, as you've been doing strongman training for 5 years now, do you still own any 1-inch weights, or do you pretty much have everything Olympic 2-inch now? Everything on my, in my home gym's 2 inches, apart from my very, very first weight set that I got a hell of a long time ago. Like the proper, you'll know the old school, like easy bar, like proper old school easy bar with 1-inch weights that pretty much anyone gets when they want to put on a little bit of size in their bedroom. You know, the easy bar, the dumbbells with 1-inch weights. I've still got those in my home gym. I have never got rid of them, and they're the only 1-inch weights that I still have. But everything else, Olympic 2-inch now. Wade saying, hype for Shane and Paddy in the final, so awesome to see. Me too. Makes me very proud to be English, and obviously I'm mates with Paddy, so ecstatic to see that happen. Alex, I wish SCL was a qualifier for a major. They are the only promotion with a true world tour. Yeah, I mean, it's good that people like the organisers are clearly paying attention to it. Like Brian said, he's paying attention to it as well. They're clearly paying attention to it. I'm not sure if it needs to be an official qualifier, but I'm glad they're paying attention to it. Joe, do you worry that you're not going to get much better seeing as you're 5 years in? No, you can always get better. Whether it's stronger, fitter, more comfortable, like better looking, more adept. Like, there's no reason why you can't get better. It doesn't have to be necessarily better at strength. It doesn't have to even be better than Strongman, but you can always get better at something. But if you mean Strongman as in general, like, 5 years is nothing in the grand scheme of Strongman, mate. Like, you see people like Andy Flynn been working his ass off for like 10, 15 years, and look at him now. Like, you can always get better. Don't ever think that if you're 5 years in and hitting a plateau that you can't get better. Of course you can. You just need to switch some things up. Everything can always get better. Leon, issue with SCL is prize money doesn't draw in top athletes. They could only ever have a qualifying spot for number one. Yeah, it is. It definitely, like, SCL's definitely a step lower, and I think seeing Reno come through that is like almost a bit of an exception. But I mean, as long as we're paying attention to what people are doing in the SCL, that is what we need. David saying, Reno, Paddy, Shane, Andre and Eddie, all first-time finalists. A few of these guys are going to get an invite to Smo, Rogue and the Arnolds. Excited to see the new generation shining. Yeah, it really is a good showing for some of the younger guys stepping up, showing us what the future of Strongman's going to look like. Ben saying, starting a petition to include a brig juggling event at next year's World's Strongest Man. Good Lord, I hope not. After seeing some of the athletes nearly dropping that stone block on their head, imagine bricks flying everywhere. It's not going to be good. C-Mac saying stones with this group is going to be crazy. Tom, Luke, Paddy, Trey, all could beat Mitch on stones. Yeah, this is a very good stone lifting group. I mean, Shane Flowers is good at stones as well. Don't forget him. I think Eddie Williams is fairly okay. Like, the Atlas stones on this group are going to be very, very interesting. It's one of the events I'm actually looking forward to Atlas stones for once in a World's Strongest Man, especially because we haven't seen a stone off. Dave saying, Loz and Liz just posted a link to their coverage of the Flintstone lift, which will start at 12:45, which make it 6:45 in the UK. Okay, so an hour later than we've been used to. That's no problem. Just means you might get me for a little bit longer. Charlemagne, who do you think is podiuming in what order? I think it's going to be Mitch, Tom and Trey in that order. Leon, I would love to see Rogue progress to 12 athletes. Would make space for these newer guys. I think so. I think 12 would be a fantastic number for the Rogue. 12, 16, something like that. I think it's always better than 10. Enthusiast, 5 years into something is not a long time for development. Yeah, especially as I'm 23 as well. Like, I'm still really young. Like, it's not a long time at all. Ash saying, don't you be dissing my little garden gym, Toby, lol. Not a 2-inch weight in sight. I even have a 1-inch log. Look, 1-inch weights will get the job done. I mean, concrete buckets will get the job done. As long as something's heavy, you can lift it. That's why we love Strongman, innit? Well, oi Toby, ready for this final? I am super ready. I'm super excited. Alexios, Paddy and Shane in finals. Another example of Southwest England superiority. Absolutely, I am obviously a part of that, so I will completely agree. It's not a long time, but it's enough to show your strength potential trajectory. I kind of disagree. Like, I've made some really good progress in those 5 years, but, you know, things can always change. Things can always get better. If you've just been dossing around for 5 years, then your trajectory is not going to be shown. It's not as cut and dry as that, in my opinion. I just think you can always get better, and something might change in which puts you on a better course. You never know. So I don't like holding myself to strength trajectories, any of that sort of thing. Like, I'm just going to keep doing it because I enjoy it. I don't really care where I end up, and, you know, I've made good progress so far. Let's keep making it. Charlemagne, sadly, I don't think any of the new guys who could potentially qualify for the Smo from Worlds will perform well at Smo as it's too heavy. Yeah, it's a different type of show. I mean, Worlds is certainly the more athletic man's show, but Never count anyone out. There's always surprises. Alex, you should let Paddy know that my household has dubbed him the Strongman Trustache. I'll send him a DM, mate. I will. Leon, maybe Tom could win as he can be close to the deadlift with the stronger deadlifters out, and people can place between Tom and Mitch on stones. Yeah, it's certainly a possibility. Mitch is definitely going to have to put in a good performance. Ben Stewart, I'd love to see Paddy at Rogue. It seems to be right up his alley. Yeah, I agree. I think Rogue would be really good to see Paddy at. Oliver, do we know if the max deadlift is a pick your weight 3-lift style or a fixed interval rising weight like behind the neck press? I'm going to assume fixed interval rising weight because worlds seem to like to do it that way, but I don't know for sure. Leon Munt, with the recent 300 kilo deadlift, what is the lifetime goal? 400. Mate, my lifetime goal was 270, so the fact we're even at 300 is absolutely mental. I'm not going to set myself a lifetime goal now. I'm just going to keep going and see where we get. Like, I've already surpassed all of my expectations that I ever thought I'd have for strength training, so I'm not going to set any massive goals. I'm just going to enjoy the process and see where I end up. Alexios, Luke Stoltman only became world class in his 30s after training for many years. Yeah, exactly. Like, everyone can always get better. Like, there's no point in sitting down and trying to hold yourself to what other people are doing and other people's trajectories, what other people's journeys have looked like, because it's all going to be different. Like, you see some guys like Andre Foitu burst onto the scene at 23, super strong, really good, and then they tend to fizzle out as they get into their late 20s, early 30s. We've seen that with Novikov, we're seeing that kind of with Mateusz when injuries take over, Luke Richardson as well, and then you get some guys who take it slow and really take a long time to get to that top level. Andy Flynn has just been slowly building for a very long time. Luke Stoltman is in his late 30s, early 40s, and just now getting into his peak shape. Like, people's journeys look different. People's journeys look very interesting, and you never know what shape your journey's going to take, so just enjoy the ride. Leon saying top mindset, I think so. I think you can easily get yourself bogged down with comparing yourself to others with training. I just don't think it's worth doing. Dave, Toby, it might be 5:45 your time. Can't remember whether there is a 5 or 6 hour time difference between the UK and Eastern US. You know what? I will have a look at when Loz has scheduled it for. Hopefully you can still see me because I've tried to tab out. It is saying 5:45. So yes, 5:45 is when we will be kicking off. So normal time when we expected it to be. So yeah, 5:45 in the UK, which means you won't get me for longer. Charlemagne, also, to be honest, you kind of want it to take a long time so that your tendons get used, or else you will probably have a lot of injuries. Yeah, for sure. It takes a lot longer to build tendon strength than it does muscle strength, so getting everything better across the board over a long time is the perfect way to do it. Loz and Liz scheduled 5:45 UK time. Perfect. Joe saying, rule of thumb is 10 years of consistent training will take you very close to your strength potential. Depends when you start, obviously. Yeah, absolutely. That seems to be like a general consensus, but certainly there are always outliers, and I just don't think it... Yeah, I don't think it's worth holding yourself to that, but it is definitely a good rule of thumb, like for the average guy. Liquid Bishop, is there an increasing split between the heavy guys and the athletic guys? I mean, Hatton failed the World's Strongest Man final, but is top in SMO, while Paddy or Noah will probably be crushed at SMO. Yeah, I mean, strongman is an ever-evolving sport, and we've got different types of competitions where people do have to bulk up, get heavier, people do have to be lighter, and that's where we can really appreciate someone like Mitch, who is just good across the board and good at everything. And I really think we should keep it that way. I don't like the idea of taking strongman too static or taking strongman too athletic. I like that each competition has sort of its own identity. And I mean, Hatton can very easily make the finals with a better set of events, but the set of events we had in this competition plus his group made for a very hard time. We all knew that going in, but you know, everything's very event dependent. I mean, Matt Ragg was top 4 last year and he was last in his group this year. Like, things are very event dependent for a lot of guys. Max, do they have unlimited lifts at the Flintstone? Also agree with Leon on your mindset. This is where I have gotten to with climbing. Grades, weights, etc. are just numbers. Just enjoy it. Yeah, absolutely. Enjoyment is the main thing. Otherwise, you'll become miserable doing it. And do they have unlimited lifts for the Flintstone? I believe there's no cap of 3 or 4 attempts. But whether you mean if they miss an attempt, they can try again, I don't believe so. At least they haven't been able to in the past. But as far as I know, there's no cap on attempts in general. Ash, do you have a favourite strongman show? And if so, what and why? You know, I have lots. I like all the shows, as you probably can tell by the channel. Worlds has always been like the show for me. I've been enjoying it, and I mean, I'm making lots of content on it. But in recent times, Smo is just becoming better and better. But honestly, my favourite shows are just the Giants Live. I love the quick pace. I love the atmosphere. I love the live stream. I love all the like Neil pickup announcements. I love the commentary. Giants Live for me are just like the most complete package and the most entertaining. They're probably my favourite shows. Joe saying Mitch doesn't seem in top shape. I think he pushed himself a bit hard on the 18-inch, though close to competition, or maybe the stress from the public's back. Mitch is in fine shape. Like, he's not been super dominant, but I think Mitch's better events in the final. Like, he's still come out of the group stages with 10 points. He's still won his group fairly comfortably. Like, he's not in bad shape by any means. I wouldn't write him off at all. I think we're going to see Mitch really switch on in the finals. Like, he's not looking bad at all, to be honest. Elliot saying, good afternoon. Good afternoon, mate. Leon, I think Nell would perform better than Paddy at Smo. Smo is very cool for me, but it tests the athletes fully. Savickas is the GOAT, but for me, Brian is possibly the strongest ever, as he can do anything. Yeah, Smo's a really tough one. Obviously, the heavy overheads at Smo are what will probably kill Paddy, but some of the events as well would be very good for him. But yeah, Nell seems to be performing insanely well. But yeah, it's just a completely different show. Andrew saying the different shows add to the sport. Completely agree. Dominic saying, maybe I am crazy, but I have Trey down to win the deadlift, Flintstone and Hercules hold. I could definitely see it, like, especially the deadlift and possibly the Flintstone as well. He's just an absolute powerhouse. And Trey could win the stones as well, like, genuinely could. Liquid Bishop, what show, in your opinion, is representing Strongman better, Smo or World's Strongest Man? Oh, Smo, easily. I think Smo, from an athlete's point of view and like a respect point of view, is the best strongman show, and I think as it continues to grow, it'll be the biggest. But Worlds is making very positive changes, and I think Worlds is feeling that pressure and wanting to catch up. So I think these two shows are going to push the sport absolutely massively far. Elliot, Giants Live are super fun, and if you ever get the chance, go. Completely agree. I've been to a couple. Absolutely give it a chance. James, can you explain how they got the final points? Yes, I can. So what they do is once we've got our 10 guys, they rescore the heats as if it was just those 10 guys doing every event. And then whoever does the best gets 10 points, second best 9 points, and so on down to 1 going into the finals. Bronchopped saying, yeah, Mitch pretty much only showed final events, guys coming in for a mog. Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if Mitch barely even trained the heats events, to be honest. We've seen a couple clips of him doing so, but the finals has been his focus for sure. Bent's the GOAT saying, hello guys, hope everyone has had a great weekend. One final stat from me before the finals. Yes, please leave the stats, Bent. Trend Boy's not happy with my shirt. I knew this shirt would get some comments if I wore it for the stream, so that's exactly why I wore it. Jane, my favourite to attend the Giants Live Strongman Classic. Favourite to watch on live stream is the Magnus Ver Classic. Yeah, Magnus Ver is always really fun to watch as well. Joe's saying he's doing great compared to everyone else, but he doesn't seem at his best. Yeah, I mean, we've probably seen a better form of Mitch, but it certainly doesn't mean he's not capable of the win. Leon saying, I think as an average, everyone underperformed in the groups. Mitch and Tom both made mistakes, but came out easy 1 and 2. Yeah, I mean, Worlds conditions are hard. Worlds is a hard comp, lots and very different from a lot of others. So I feel like a lot of guys, did have a few mishaps here and there, but that's the sport. Dave saying, Loz and Liz just posted more links to when they will be posting videos. The first one is scheduled for 104 minutes from now. Perfect. Thank you very much. Tony saying, good question, James. I can't figure out the point scoring system either. Well, hopefully I explained it well enough for you guys. And then Bent's here with the stats. The absolute GOAT. Thank you, Bent. Will saying, Giants Live are fun. I think Smo is my favourite to watch. It reminds me of the old days when Brian and Z lifting monster weights. Yeah, I do love watching Smo. It's definitely a close second up there as well. I also really enjoy watching the Arnolds. I enjoy watching all of them. Like, I'm a big Strongman fan, if you couldn't tell. Alexios saying, now Pavlo Cordiaca will win the Flintstone press. His 240 in training went too easy. And I saw on Insta he has been training split jerk years before he was training Strongman specific. Yeah, Pavlo's going to come in and do some damage on that Flintstone press for sure. I'm super glad he made it through. Leon went, have to get yourself on StreamYard or whatever Liz and Loz use so you can put comments on the screen. I know, I need to. Obviously, these streams were pretty last minute. I just sort of randomly decided to do them, so I haven't really had time to properly set them up. But yeah, it'd be nice to be able to pull the comments up on screen for sure. Toxic Truth thinking I am a Super Mitch fan. I am not. I just think he's the best strongman. And, I mean, it's pretty easy to see by his track record, so I don't agree with a lot of what he's done, but athletically, he is the best. Have you seen that if everyone went against each other 4 or 5 out of Group 4 would have made the top 10? I have indeed. It is very interesting how the groups do mess things up. Ben saying, I don't know if you guys talked about it earlier, but I'm really happy for Eddie Williams. Yeah, me too. I'm absolutely buzzing for Eddie. Leon saying, looks like you need some mods in here. Yeah, probably, but also, you know, let the trolls have some fun. Ignore them, and they will get bored pretty quickly. And if they don't, then it's more engagement for me, isn't it? Like, it's more money for me at the end of the day. So have your fun, trolls. Like, yeah, let's get some engagement going. James saying, everyone makes mistakes, but doesn't take away from what Mitch has done for the sport. And I mean, even if, like, I know a lot of people have a problem with calling it a mistake, but yeah, even if someone does a bad thing, like, you can't take away from the athletic performance. And if you approach Strongman as just watching the athletes as athletes and stop giving a crap about what they do outside of the sport, and don't let their personal lives influence your opinions of them. Obviously it will as people, but as athletes, you can see Mitch is the clear best strongman at the moment. Alex saying, my ultimate strongman dream is to compete at the MVM. Yeah, completely agree. It looks like an awesome competition to be a part of. Leon Munn, Andre was actually 4th in his group when everyone was included. Wow, that is really interesting to see. Crazy how it's got such a big swing on it. Andrew's got the LHBK t-shirt and Stoltman Lumber top on, and the wife has Leave a Legacy t-shirt on. Yeah, exactly, like, it's just a t-shirt, innit? I bought it months and months ago. It's fairly comfy. It is what it is, isn't it? Like, I don't understand why people can get so worked up about it. Oliver's saying, no hate to him, but I think the sport needs someone other than Mitch to win. Can't blame him for his consistency, but it's not as interesting when the same athlete wins every single time. Yeah, it's different strokes for different folks, really. Like, personally, I really enjoy seeing a dominant streak. We've seen it throughout history. We've seen the Brian Z eras. We've seen the dominance of Mitch. It's really, really fun to watch. But I do agree, it's also fun when we have no idea who's coming in as the favourite. So it'll be interesting to see if someone other than Tom and Mitch wins this World's Strongest Man, but personally I don't see it. Ben's saying, what Mitch did is disappointing with Luke as well, but bringing it up in every Strongman related stream is so stupid. Like, come on, get over it. Yeah, exactly. Like, I just personally pretty much ignore it and just think about the sport in general, so we'll just, move on from it all. James saying, Trey has amazing events in the final. Herkhold is his best grip event he could ask for. He couldn't ask for better events. Maybe a log press for reps to make the final perfect for Trey. Yeah, really good events for Trey. I'm very excited to see how he does. MVM is Shane Flower's favourite comp. Yeah, I don't blame him. It looks super, super sick. MVM Classic is awesome. Freezing cold last year, though, with the wind. Yeah, I bet, but it looks super cool. Jane's got her purple Paddy Haynes t-shirt on. I need to get some Paddy merch. I haven't bought any. I might try and rob him. Next time I go down his gym, I might sneak into the merch store and nab one. But yeah, I do need to get one. Chris saying, I think it's clear at this stage Tom only decides to turn it on for World's Strongest Man and sandbag the rest of the year. The question is why? It's just a mindset thing. Like, for Tom, it's just a mindset thing. The format suits him. in his mind, it's the best title, the biggest title you can go for. So that's why he does it. I mean, the only person who can really answer that is Tom. And hopefully now with Shane MST on his side, we can see him perform at some of the other comps. He's certainly not underperformed at other comps. Like, he's podiumed pretty much every major. But it'd be great to see him win some. Bence is praying for Trey's podium. Me too. I really like Eddie Williams. I hope he gets a good final and an event win in the Hercules. Yeah, I'd love to see that from Eddie. I hope he has a good time. Leon saying, I think I might have to get myself some Paddy merch. Fast becoming one of my favourites as a Brit. Yeah, Paddy's awesome. Absolutely go and support him. Toxic saying, love the content, by the way, Toby. Don't mean any disrespect to your channel. Appreciate it, mate. Appreciate it massively. James saying, I think Trey could win this deadlift if he wears a suit. You know, Trey might be the only man in the world who doesn't need a suit. Dude's got a built-in suit. But I would love to see Trey go full, like, proper suited, train with people, see what he can do. Andrew's just ordered a Paddy tee. Jane saying, you haven't got any Paddy merch, get an umbrella hat, lol. I need to find one to fit my head. I've got a proper blockhead on me, so if it fits my head, then I will get one. Christopher saying, thanks, Toby. No problem. Bron chopped all applaud the Rayner and Paddy train. Absolutely. I am loving seeing them both do well. Leon replying to Alexios Maris is 5-time shrouded by the IFA split. He wasn't the best, just best at World's Strongest Man. And hey, you can only beat the people who turn up in front of you. So I will never disrespect a man for only beating who's at the competition, because at the end of the day it's on the other athletes that they're not there. So there we go. Ash saying, if everyone was versus everyone and points added up, Hoth and Boudreaux would be in and Cordiaca and Williams would be out. Yeah, it's very interesting to see how the different formats do change things. Dalton's late again. Oh, come on, Dalton, you need to step your game up. But yeah, appreciate that you enjoy the live streams. I'm enjoying doing them. It's always nice just to waffle about Strongman for a few hours, so I will probably keep them up. I'll definitely try and do them before most major shows, like a little pre-show thing. Whether I do them between that, I'm not sure. But saying, don't forget to like Toby's and later the Loz live streams. Have a good one, everyone. I hope to see you guys in about 2 hours for the carry and drag stream. See you there, mate. And yes, please go down below, like the stream, push it out to people. If you've got any other Strongman fan friends who want something to do while waiting for the finals, get them in here and we'll have a good chat. Christopher, you're not the only one, Toby. I've never been able to buy a normal hat. They all have to be custom. Yeah, I just don't wear hats, really, at all. I've got my one up there. It is a green John Deere hat that I've had for years, and it is quite literally one of the only hats that fits me, and it is falling apart. But 90% of the time, I don't wear hats. Toxic saying, only a quarter of the people watching have liked the video. Get liking people. Yes, get liking people. God. Come on, let's do it. Oh. Trey built-in suit, that's great. He does, he's an absolute monster. I love Trey, I really do. Oliver saying, shame they didn't do a train pull push instead of the Hercules, given that it's in Sacramento again. Herc-hold is a bit meh for a finals event. Yeah, I kind of agree. Like, the Titans turntable, or whatever it was called, the other year was super cool, and it was the perfect opportunity to bring it back. But I guess with the stands and the spectators, it makes it more difficult. But in truth, the Hercules hold I wasn't that looking forward to, but now I've seen who the finalists are, I'm really looking forward to the Hercules hold. So yeah, it's an interesting one. Definitely better events out there for sure. The likes are dependent on when you joined. It shows 6 for me. Yeah, it is. So just refresh the page and see if they've gone up. I mean, mine says 28, which I believe is updating in real time because I've got the proper analytics and stuff up. But yeah, it is updating in real life. I just saw a 29. Whoever that was, whoever was number 29. Massive. Here we go. I can see them going up now. We're at 31. Come on, let's keep it rolling. Let's keep it rolling. Ash saying, have you seen the size of Bryce Johnson? Fudger, yeah, that man is an absolute mountain. He is huge. So I think I said in another stream, it's like you asked AI to AI generate an American strongman. He's got like just enough of Brian Shaw about him, but also just enough of like an AI edge about him. He's an absolute monster. Liam saying it's a shame they did not bring the train pool. Agreed. Bronchop saying 3 Canadians in the top 10. Always knew these groups were made shit for Canadians. The conspiracies start flowing. They really do. Alex saying, I love the Hurt Cold, but it's not a World's Strongest Man Finals event, in my opinion. Yeah, I love a Hurt Cold like a Giants Live or something like that, but there are definitely better events for the World's Final. Will saying, Trey reminds me of Zadrunas, lol. Just calm and steady and obliterates the weight. I hope he can have some podiums in the future. I mean, Trey's won 2 Strongest Man... Well, it were Shaw Classics, but it's still the same line of competition as Smo is now. Like, Trey's won 2 of those. Like, let's not forget that. Trey has won some of the hardest comps there are to win. And I hope he can get a World's Strongest Man to add to that. What are my predictions for the first event? I think the first event is going to be all over the place, to be honest, because we've got lots of fast and athletic guys, but how are they going to hold on that arm over arm? Who knows? I still think Mitch probably wins the event, but I wouldn't be surprised to see like a Paddy or a Shane Flowers or a Pavlo Kordiaka coming like 2nd, 3rd, 4th, just because of how quick they are. It all depends on how heavy the hoist actually is, because the like Zercher carry didn't look too heavy. So if the hoist is really heavy, then it's going to be pretty difficult for some of the lighter guys. But if it's not too heavy and it's a speed fest, then that will be really good for them. Will saying, I screamed my lungs off for him at the Shaw Classic too. Yeah, me too. It was great to see Trey win a couple of those. Bronchop saying the rope for the arm over arm is super slippery in the boneyard. And you know who that's going to suit? That's going to suit Paddy Haynes. Because the rope Paddy Haynes has is the worst rope that I have ever used in the history of my strongman training. It is dreadful. I had to use it at both competitions I did for the arm over arm car pull and the tractor rope hold. That rope is so crap that even if the boneyard rope is somehow worse than that one, hopefully Paddy will be adapted to using a shit rope. Oliver's saying there's a funny clip on Paddy's channel where he drops from a hanging bar stretch at height and Bryce just walks up to it and does the stretch standing. Yeah, that is funny, seeing how massive Bryce is compared to Paddy. And Paddy's a big dude. Paddy's taller than me, same weight as me. Like, he's not small, even though he looks small compared to the other strongmen. Andrew saying Trey never gets a lot of credit for the 2 Shaw Classic wins. Yeah, if it was still called Strongest Man on Earth at that time, I think he'd get more. But yeah, Trey's an absolute beast. Dominic Smith, slightly off topic, but do you think Thor will make 505 in his attempt in July? I have no idea. Like, I thought he really would pull it at the Arnolds, and then it didn't leave the floor. So I can't say. I haven't seen enough of his prep. I mean, not enough of his preps happened to really make a call. I'd like to think he's in with a good chance, because I think if he doesn't get it in July, then I do think Mitch is going to get it in September. So with that pressure added, I think he might, I really do. But I have to see how his training goes. Alex, my first event predictions are Mitch, Paddy, Reno. Yeah, absolutely could see it. I think Reno is a really good shout for someone who could do well there. I don't know. Hi, any word on if Mitch is actually giving all the athletes $1,000 or whatever he said he would? As far as I know, yes. I've seen a lot of people saying online that thanking him, a lot of the athletes thanking him and stuff, so it seems like they have. Will saying, I'm home early from work, by the way, in which case, at 5 o'clock, can you give the dog his tablets because I want to stay on the stream? Thank you very much, Will. Bronchot, Paddy or Reno win on event 1. Yeah, absolutely could see it. I should do live streams more often. It's useful for talking to family members and getting them to do stuff. Can everyone in the chat give Will some crap for not doing Strongman, by the way? He's gone straight back to powerlifting after doing Oxfordshire's Strongest Man. So everyone in the chat give Will a lot of crap for not doing Strongman. Because he is taller than me. He's got a better build for Strongman than me, way better genetics, and he's younger than me, so he'll come around eventually, but we need to give him some proper bullying. Jane saying, yes, Mitch has given the athletes their share of the fund. Lucas said he refused his to pass on to others. Yeah, I'm sure a few of the athletes have refused as well, but as far as I know, it is going out. Leon saying, odd to have an arm over arm and Hercules holding the same comp, made worse by a light Zercher. I mean, I love the arm over arm and the Zercher. I think it's going to be an interesting event, and we only know it's light by the boneyard, but you know, people are going to be beat up. It might end up causing people some problems. We will see. Jane's calling Will a traitor. I know, right, Jane? It's ridiculous, isn't it? Will just wants to bench heavy things. That's all he wants to do. Dalton saying, what the heck, Will? Powerlifting's so boring. Yeah, listen to that, Will. I don't even know if he's still here, but I will show him the live chat stream after the stream's end. Ella was saying Paddy is going to zerch faster than anyone has ever zerched, but it all depends on the pull afterwards. Yeah, I agree. I think we could see him absolutely fly on that one. Oh, Will saying, come on, Will. Do it for all us Wills. Your people are cheering for you, mate. Will saying, I agree. That's why I don't compete in powerlifting. Fair enough. My High saying, when starts event 1 at 6 PM UK time, so about an hour and 40 minutes. Dominic saying, Mitch seems determined to get that 5:05, but it being so soon after SMO, I think it will be difficult to not be impacted by the heaviness of that comp. I mean, with a max trap bar deadlift in there, it might have some decent carryover, to be fair. I always found that training trap bar deadlift is a very good carryover to my normal deadlift. Obviously, training normal deadlift is great, but I think Mitch has looked in shape to do 5:05 with a small peak for a while. I think he'll be fine. We'll see though. It's a tough weight. Dalton saying, I mean, I love benching, but you still need variety. Completely agree. Bronshot, Legend Eloa here. How's it going? Yeah, Eloa's an absolute legend. Really is. Proper legend of the sport, Eloa. If I'm saying that wrong, by the way, do shout at me, but I'm pretty sure I've got it right. Alex, there's a guy in my gym who powerlift. He's about 6'3", 400 pounds, has visible abs, and has pulled 790 conventional in a tested powerlifting fed. Jesus, get that man in Strongman. Get him on some sauce and get him in Strongman. I want to see what he can do. That is ridiculous. Those are some ridiculous stats. 6'3", 400 with a visible abs. Good lord. Oh, I am so excited for this final. I can't comprehend how hyped I am for it. I think the different athletes who have got to the finals that we weren't expecting to make it has made me even more excited. Like, in my predictions and in all my thinking before this Worlds, like, we had the finals with people like Evan Singleton, Luke Richardson in mind, and now we've got people we didn't even consider, really, and I am so excited to see how it shakes out. It's going to be a real fun competition. I think it's going to be quite close in the finals. If not 1 or 2, if Tom and Mitch stretch away, possibly Trey as well. But the rest of the competition is going to be a very interesting one, I think. Very excited. And also, here's a thought. Here is a thought. Now that Paddy and Shane have made the World's Strongest Man finals, how many former World's Strongest Man finalists are going to be at England's Strongest Man? It's going to be a fair few, right? Like, that's a hell of a lineup. That really is. Because you got Graham Hicks in there, I think. Obviously Luke Richardson, but will he be able to do it? Hopefully his bicep heals up in time. You know, obviously Paddy and Shane. Andy Flynn's going to be there. Ben Glasscock's going to be there. Like, it's going to be a really, really good lineup. If you're from the rest of the world, definitely consider watching England's Strongest Man, because even though it's a national title, I mean, look at what some of these guys are doing at Worlds. It's going to be one hell of a show for sure. Oliver's saying, Strongman Archives list the arm over arm at 200 kilo. I can't remember what the weight usually is for these type of events. Seems light. It does, but also it's a hoist, so it's going up in the air. So you have no idea. If it doesn't have a ratchet system, for example, and it's like MVM, where you've got to hold the rope the whole time, that's pretty damn heavy, but we will see. Alexios, Mitch needs to skip the smo if he wants to pull 505. When Eddie pulled 500, he focused totally and only just got it. Mitch is not that much better a deadlifter than Eddie at deadlift, if at all. Yeah, I mean, Eddie was an absolute specimen, but Mitch is an absolute specimen as well. If there's anyone who can pull 505 after doing smo, it's Mitch, but will he be able to do it? Who knows? Leon saying, it's a shame Worlds aren't posting pictures of the setups before each event. I agree, it'd be nice to be able to see what we're like looking at, or what we're hearing, if that makes sense. Leon saying, I don't think there's any chance Mitch skips smo. No, neither do I. I really don't think he will either. Anyway, it's because the box they are hoisting is 200 kilo. I don't remember what the weight at was at Britain's Strongest Man 2024, but about the same as I think it was not as high of a hoist at Britain's Strongest Man. Interesting. Okay. Liquid Bishop, did Rain O'Neill do an 18-inch deadlift in a comp previously? I don't know. Someone in the chat do let us know. I think it's time to crack the white monster. My eyes are getting heavy again. So, let's go. How long have we been going? Just under an hour. How is everybody feeling? We're all saying that's it. We're just hiding abs so these other fellas don't feel bad. Yes, absolutely. I am part of that camp as well. They're there. They're definitely there. They've just got about an inch layer over the top of them. But as JF Caron famously said, abs is not a sign of power. It is a sign that you do not eat enough. And that is a gospel that I live by. Which event are you guys most looking forward to the final? I've already said 18-inch deadlift is the one I'm looking forward to the most. Which one are you guys looking forward to the most? I expect we'll see a lot of Flintstone lifts, but maybe less now that Lucas hasn't made the final. Alex saying, Strongman hot take. Things between Eddie and Thor wouldn't have got so heated if Eddie hadn't immediately retired. Probably not, to be honest. Probably not. Leon saying, 480 kilo silver dollar at SCL 2024 South Africa. Interesting. Interesting. That is... that is going to be interesting to see how that carries over. Probably quite well. I have a bad feeling that Hooper will win the strongest man on the world after this. He will pull 505 and he will retire after that. Yeah, I mean, from what I've heard, Mitch has got a couple years left in him yet, but we have no idea what his thinking is on that. So we just have to appreciate him while we've got him doing crazy things in this sport. Because he's definitely not going to be one of those guys that goes for 20 years or more. So Sven saying Mitch's ability to recover is what makes him such a freak. I believe he can win Smo and pull 505. Yeah, Mitch's ability to recover is just ridiculous. It's crazy. So hopefully we do see it. Andrew saying hype is unreal. Best ever world's strongest man experience. No rest day, much better. Plus radio strongman. You know what? I am missing the rest day a little bit just because I need one. But I do agree. The condensed hype over 4 days has been awesome. Will be interesting to see what the 18-inch deadlift ends up at. I think Trey and Mitch are going to push it beyond a world record in my personal opinion. But we will see. Front Shop saying, I'm assuming he has more bills to pay. Now, in a sick way, we may get him longer. You never know. I'm sure he does just fine to pay the bills off of just his YouTube channel, to be honest, judging by his viewership. But, more's more, isn't it? So, Jimmy saying, Mitch will have to stay in longer now because he's lost half his assets. Yeah, well, I don't know what's going on. Neither do any of us. Brian, scheduling tonight's leg workout to coincide with the deadlift for extra motivation. Fantastic idea. I just got my log done and out the way so I could put my feet up. James Rays are looking forward to the hoist. Hard to predict. Me too. I'm excited for that event because it just seems cool. I love a Zercher. I love a hoist. So, yeah, it's going to be a really interesting one. I'm looking forward to all the events, to be honest. Will saying, I wondered if Mitch can clean sweep the big shows this year and get the 505, he'll ride off into the sunset. Hope he sticks around a bit and gets 3 or 4 World's Strongest Man and 6 or 8 Arnolds. Yeah, I mean, I hope he sticks around as well as long as he's healthy, because he is doing some insane things athletically. He really is. ChatGPT Intel, Tom must be made of iron. I just know if I had gone down like that, both of my knees are going to explode and I wouldn't be able to get up again. How that 200 kilo man with a 160 kilo stone on his shoulder dropped to his knees and is absolutely fine is beyond me. Like, Jesus, that must have been a hell of an impact. I can't imagine. Gray saying, don't think they will. Way too fatigued now. At best, barely scratching the 550. I believe on this 18-inch, is 550 not a world record? I thought 550 is above the world record. I thought it was 540-ish. Someone will have to tell me in the comments what the world record on the 18-inch deadlift is. Because I'm pretty sure it's less than 550. Will saying, if he can do those things, I feel like he'd find himself in the GOAT conversation with Zydrunas. Yeah, I mean, the only people who would deny that would be the people who take longevity into account. Because, Big Z won a hell of a lot of competitions over a hell of a long time. But Mitch has clearly been just so ridiculously dominant that it's interesting to see where he fits in that conversation. Oliver, anyone know if the Atlas stones are the standard Giants live setup, or is there a few meter walk-in with the stones like they've done the last few years? Yes, I believe there is a walk-in, like classic World's Strongest Man style. Bronchop saying 537.5 it is. Yeah, see, that's where I thought it was as well, so I really do. It's somewhere around there, I know. Grey Warden saying 572. No, I don't think it is for an 18-inch deadlift. I don't think it's that high. Andrew's looking forward to the stones. I am as well. Lots of good stone lifters in the final this year. Republic Jim, hey, has anyone mentioned the standings way back after event 1? If you took the top 2 from each group after the loading, you had 9 of the finalists. Crazy how that held steady through through all the surprises. That is a crazy stat. That's really cool. Thank you for sharing that. That's really interesting. Leon, Toby, are you choosing to have ads during the live lol? Happy to watch. I just keep having to use 2 times speed to catch back up. I haven't touched the settings, to be honest. I've got it on YouTube's standard live settings. I don't like fiddling with the ads or anything. Because I just don't like me strategically placing ads and stuff in videos. I just let YouTube do its thing, and I get a bit of kickback off that. But yes, I do have ads on, but I haven't turned them on super frequently or anything like that. Bronchop saying 550 is not. That was on a super whippy bar. Yeah, I thought it was around 540-ish. Will saying definitely hard to compete with Z's longevity. 8 Arnold Strongman Classic titles in Insanity. Yeah, it is just ridiculous. I don't see anyone really ever beating that, to be honest. Avery saying, let's get Toby to 100k subs so he can report live on site next year. You know what? If I got to 100k subs, that would be just absolutely mental. But let's get to 10k first. It's only recently I've got to 1k, but so 100k is a hell of a long way off. But if we can get to 10k, that would be just absolutely mind-blowing as well. And yeah, 100k is even more unfathomable. I don't even know if there's that many Strongman fans. I know the other Strongman channels do have more than 100k, but yeah, I'd be super hyped if that ever is the case. And speaking of which, if you haven't subscribed already, please consider doing though. It helps out so much more for a channel of my size just to gain 1 or 2 more subscribers. It keeps YouTube knowing that people are engaged with this channel and keeps them pushing to more people who might want to watch the content. So please do. It really does help out. ChatGPT saying, what if Reno wins the entire comp? He looks good at everything, strong and athletic. From what I heard, he could have got 9 or 10 on the deadlift but stopped. Yeah, I mean, Reno has looked absolutely phenomenal. I don't believe he can win the whole thing. I have no idea what his like Flintstone lift and stuff like that is. But if he does, it's going to be one of the most impressive things I've ever seen in Strongman, to be honest. He has been looking phenomenal. Really, really has. Will saying, I wouldn't be disappointed if Reno wins. He seems like a cool guy. Absolutely. I mean, most of the finalists, I wouldn't be disappointed if they won. A really, really nice final this year. Leon saying, I think it's a step too far for Reino this year, but I expect he will get 4th if he performs. Yeah, I agree. It's a big ask. The finals events are very different to the heats events, but we could see him do some good stuff, I'm sure. The current world record of the 18-inch deadlift is 550, achieved by Alexei Novikov. The record was set in an international competition in Barcelona, Spain. Yes, I've seen that. There is some minor controversy surrounding that record. I have no doubt that Alexei pulled that weight, but the bar was incredibly whippy compared to the bars that they use at World's Strongest Man and stuff like that. So many do not consider it the same record, and I'm assuming World's Strongest Man will only consider their record as like the World's Strongest Man world record on that kit. So straight out, like talking about a 18-inch deadlift world record for World's Strongest Man, I'm going to assume they're going to stick with Alexei's record from World's, possibly Rauno's record that was 540. But Alexei's awesome. That's not to take away from Alexei at all, by the way. I love Alexei. But the bar was very, very whippy. So there are some questions about the standard of that deadlift. How is Paddy's 18-inch? I know he hasn't had the prep of Mitch or Tom. As far as I know, it's going decent. I will say it's probably not his favourite deadlift variation because Paddy is an absolute fiend for reps. But Paddy's strong. Paddy's got an incredibly strong lower back. He's very, very good at stones, very, very good at that extension. So, you know, I'm expecting him to do fairly decent at that event, to be honest. Maybe not pushing for the win, but certainly like mid-pack on it. Oliver, so much respect for the likes of Reino and Matt Ragg, who do all this while still working full-time jobs. I imagine asking your manager for annual leave for World's Strongest Man, just mental. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the guys have full-time jobs, and it was always so inspiring to see them come out and perform like this, because it just proves you don't have to be a 24/7 full-time strongman to make some insane progress and do really well. James Christie, yeah, 558 in his deadlift world record on a different bar, both held by Alexei. There is that one by Rauno in there. We can't forget Rauno. Rauno did 540 on an 18-inch deadlift. But yeah, Alexei has done some phenomenal elevated deadlifts in the past. Leon saying Paddy has had 3 sessions on the 18-inch. Yeah, I have no idea, but I know obviously he was focusing the heats, but I think it'll be pretty decent for him. The only way I can describe an 18-inch deadlift on a whippy bar is it's over before it begins. Yeah, absolutely. Novikov's built fairly similar to me in like terms of proportions, and I just suit a super elevated pull very well as well, same as him. So obviously he's about 1,000,000 times stronger. But I'd love to push my 18-inch deadlift to the max. I really would. Perhaps I will do that for a video and see where we end up. Yeah, I might do that post-Worlds, see what happens. Would you guys like to see that? Would that be something you would be interested in? See where a 300 kilo deadlifter can stack up on 18-inch deadlift? And if you guys do have any video suggestions for what you want to see on this channel, do just let me know in the live chat or in the comments of any video, because I'm forever looking for more video ideas, more stuff to do. So yeah, let me know what you guys want to see. Dalton saying, lol, I'm sure they don't really ask their managers, they probably just tell them. Could you imagine someone having the balls to try and deny that request? Yeah, absolutely. Imagine if someone had to pull out of Worlds because they couldn't get annual leave. It'd be ridiculous. Everyone needs a smile. If anyone wants a real chance to beat Mitch or Tom, on what events will they need to make up the most points? I think if anyone wants to beat Mitch and Tom, they have to make up points massively on the medley. They'd have to go out and do some real damage on the hurt cold, and I think they'd have to go out and do some real damage on the Atlas stones. I think the Flintstone lift, it's hard to beat Mitch on that event, but it's very possible. And the deadlift as well, I think it's hard to beat Mitch on that event, but very possible. But I think the events like the hoist, where you can make mistakes, the hurt cold, and the Atlas stones, where they need to make up some good points. ChatGPT, Alexei's the best ever at elevation. He's capable of close to 600 with a suit. Remember, he has the elephant bar record without a suit. Do you mean Hummer tire? I don't know if... no, I think Thor has the elephant bar, right? Leon saying, definitely want to see a session with Loz. Yeah, I mean, Loz is an incredibly busy guy, obviously, and he does a lot on the YouTube as well, and I don't always want to shove a camera in his face when I'm down training with him, but I'd love to get a session in on video with Loz as well. I will, definitely get asking if we can get one recorded. We were saying, hope Novikov can get healthy for next year. I want to see him win it again. I'd love Novikov to come back healthy. I think it sounded like his hemoglobin was going down again, or going up again. I can't remember which way it needs to go, but hopefully he does come back. Bronchev saying, do 18-inch and Viking. Yeah, I love Viking press. I really do want to give 18-inch a go. Danny saying, interested to see how Tom will do on the deadlift. He absolutely crushed the Hummer tire in 2023. He absolutely did, but since then his deadlift has been massively down, so we'll be able to see if he is back in shape or not on the deadlift. Avery saying, have you ever had an 18-inch pull in comp? I know you had that 12-inch pull at Paddy's. Yep, never had an 18-inch in comp. It's always been deadlift for reps from the floor usually, but the 12-inch pull from Paddy's was very, very good for me. Again, a very nice height for me. I just love them. Grey Warden, rack pulls do wonders for that, plus hyperextensions. I do not plan on doing strongman yet, still managed to lift 390 from 18 inches, all thanks to that. Yeah, absolutely, they're fantastic exercises. Ned saying, didn't they make the Herc hold a bit lighter? I'm not sure, to be honest. If they did, that would just suit the people who were good at it even more. Charlemagne, only person who could beat Mitchell Tom on Flintstone is Hatton, and he isn't in finals. I don't know. Lucas, not Lucas, obviously, you just said Hatton. Pavlo is looking really good on that event. Trey can do very well on that event. There are some guys who are in with a chance of getting in there. Anthony saying, morning Toby, just jumping in to say hi from work. Hello mate, how is it going? Ricky saying, do you think that the Herc hold takes Trey out of contention for first? No. Trey is very good at Herc hold. He really is. Like, look at his results on Strongman Archives at Herc hold. He is much better at Herc hold than people think he is. Have you ever tried old school lifts like the one arm snatch, power curls, Turkish get up, pinch grip deadlifts and other things like that? I've tried a few weird deadlift variations, a lot of grip stuff, but none of what you listed there. Bronchop Viking deadlift, I will have to look into that. That sounds very interesting. Dave, great day up. Great up. Keep up the great work. Thanks for the videos. Thank you very much, mate. Sorry, I garbled my words there. Leon Munn, what 5 events would you pick for the World's Strongest Man final? Right, let's go. I would kick off the final with a squat for reps. I would have a farmer's medley. So 5 farmer's walks in increasing weight where you have to run it 10 meters, then bring the heavier one back, heavier one gone. That's what I'd have in there. I would have a max axle deadlift in there. So standard height, but on an axle would be really interesting. I would have... what else would I have? I would have a front carry of something that isn't a shield or a sandbag. So some form of weird front carry. I'm not sure what that would be, but some weird implement. And then I would end on power stairs. I've been loving power stairs recently. So that would be mine. It would be squat for reps, a farmer's medley, max axle deadlift, the front carry, and power stairs. That is what I would go for. A natural, what is the reason Tom has not managed to improve his deadlift in the last 4 years? You would have to ask Tom that question. Sometimes you just hit a plateau on things. Sometimes it takes a coach switch or a training method switch to bring it back up. Sometimes it doesn't come back up. So there you go. ChatGPT as well. Tom said in his video, good events in the finals in his latest video. So maybe no weakness in the finals. We will see. We will see. Tony Knox, does anyone else listen to the song I like to move it when training? It's just me and is it only when I'm doing moving events? Hey. Well, I'd love next year if we had a healthy Novikov and a last Martins comeback, a Thor return, a healthy Mateusz, and all of these other guys in a 30-man final. Talk about stacked. That would be awesome. Bronchop, Trey probably top 3 at Hurt Cold. Eddie, Mitch and Trey. Yeah, absolutely can see it. Danny saying Shane could surprise at the Hurt Cold. He has done really good weighted hangs under Paddy's grip coaching, if I recall correctly. Yeah, Shane could be really good at Hurt Cold as well. Shane's got a very, very good grip, actually. That's a really good point. Jane saying, is there anyone bad at Hurt Cold in the finals? I know it's not Tom's best. Yeah, if Tom hasn't improved, it could be a really bad performance for him. As for any of the other guys, I'm not sure. I think Pavlo's grip is decent. I don't know. Interested to see Andre on a Hurt Cold. But I don't know if anyone's like... No one stands out as being particularly bad at it, if that makes sense. Every Star, can we bring Lucas Hatton for a celebrity lift to break the 272 on the Flintstone? I'd love to, but I believe they've already said no to it. Fire hydrant carry. Yeah, something like that. Some weird carry for distance. That's what I'd love. Leon, I'm actually not a fan of the power stairs. Don't even know why. Yeah, fair enough. People don't always like every event. Bronchop, hope they bring the Stones of the World to Giants in some way. It was excellent. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I love stone events. Hopefully it makes a return to other competitions. ChatGPT Intel, training video on Flintstones. Ondra 240, Mitch 245, Pavlo 240, Tom 240. However, in the finals, they are all capable of 250 plus. Yeah, there's lots of guys in and around that 240, 250 mark. I think it's going to be very interesting to see how people are after a very hard final. David saying this is going to be a very long day and we're not even at the first event yet. I know. I am cranking down the monster, hoping to stay awake for it. Bronchop saying, forgot Paddy on the Hurt Cold. Damn, this is hard. Yeah, Paddy, Shane, all very good at grip, all very good at the Hurt Cold. It's going to be interesting. Bronchop saying, on paper, Tom and Pavlo looking the worst at a Hurt Cold. Yeah, it's not going to be good unless Tom has put in some serious work, which I'm sure he has. Gray saying, for spectacle, I don't know why World's Strongest Man never tried underwater lifts since you can lift way more underwater. Imagine a 500 kilo plus overhead press, plus it removes your body out of the equation. Nah, not a fan of that. Really not a fan of that. Nope. Will saying, I'd love to see Power Stairs as the last event this year. I feel like Mitch would be a lock then. As it is, he might lose a pile of points on the stones if several guys get between him and Tom. Yeah, I mean, Mitch isn't a bad stone lifter. We just haven't had to see him do stones quite a lot of the time. But they do have a lot of very good stone lifters in this final. Sue saying, Paddy is good at grip. He is likely to get in between Mitch and Tom on the Hercules hold. I'd say he's probably quite likely to do that. I think a few other guys could get between Mitch and Tom on the Hurt Cold. It's going to be actually quite an exciting event. Danny Brown, can we talk about how absurd Trey is getting 10 reps on that horrible deadlift setup without a suit? Trey is just a monster. He really is. He's an absolute beast. I have a lot of time for Trey. Like, I just love seeing Trey just mog events like that. It's so cool. How much do you think these heat points will affect the podium? Can anyone in the bottom 5 still push for a win? Yeah, I mean, you just have to treat it like someone had a mid-performance event, and it happens. I think Hooper getting 1 extra point over Tom is actually going to matter quite a bit in the long run of things, because I guarantee it's going to be a close competition. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting. Andrew, what? No backlift? Controversial statement. I don't like the backlift. I'm sorry. I don't like it. I think it's a cool feat of strength. I don't like it in a strongman comp. And I know people love their backlifts. Ned Flanders, Tom's 460 18-inch deadlift in training a little while ago looked quite difficult, if I recall correctly. Yeah, it might end up being his Achilles heel in this competition. Just have no idea. Jane saying, I think quite a few could beat Mitch on the Hurt Cold. Yeah, I'd agree. Eddie Williams is looking awesome. I can see Paddy getting above him there. Really can. Trey might even do it as well. Yeah, it's no guarantee that Mitch wins that event for sure. Will, Trey with no suit is better than 98% of the guys with a suit. That guy is scary. Trey is the main reason I want people to ban suits, to be honest, because it proves that you can still be doing these crazy world-class numbers without the suits. I think suits are completely unnecessary on deadlift for reps. I understand it on a deadlift for max for like the World Deadlift Championships and stuff, but deadlift for reps in a suit, it just, it's so, I don't like it at all. I really don't. You see the guys, they're passing out, blood coming from their noses. falling over. Like, it's so unnecessary. We should just do any deadlift for reps. The same if they've banned figure eights on deadlift for reps. Ban the suits on deadlift for reps. Get them raw. That is my wish. Joe, Paddy didn't train his grip for Worlds yet. No, he didn't, as far as I know. But also, Paddy's grip is naturally just very, very good. So even a relatively untrained Paddy on grip is still incredible. Avery, no one is talking about Luke Stoltman looking very good for 40. I know Luke is doing very, very well. I mean, he's made another World's Strongest Man final. Do we think Luke can do better than his 7th place curse this year? Oliver saying, I think how well Tom does in the deadlift is massive because it will decide the order for the Hercules. Huge advantage mentally if he knows what he has to beat. Yeah, that is a really interesting point, actually. If Tom does not perform that well in the deadlift, he's going to have to go out early in the Hercules hold, which is going to make it more difficult because he won't have maybe the best time to beat, which is a massive advantage for then, say, Mitch, if he wins the deadlift, going last on the Hercules hold. So it's definitely going to be very interesting. Carrie Harris, how do you rate Shane Flowers in this comp? I think Shane's got some very good events. I've seen him do very well on the 18-inch deadlift. He's very explosive. His grip is very, very good. So Shane could do some good damage. He really can. What do I think it will take to win the 18-inch deadlift max? I think we will see a new record, but I don't think we will go much above sort of 550, 555. And by a new record, I mean a record on this bit of kit, not Alexi's 550 record. I think the 537.5 record will go. Alex saying, looking at equipped powerlifting, deadlift gets the least from equipment. Yeah, I just think it's unnecessary for these guys to squeeze into suits. I think we should just sack them off entirely. Will saying, I can see Luke in 6th. Yeah, he has a very good chance to do so. Danny saying, Smo invite's going to be super interesting. A lot of the guys making the final here not ideally suited to Smo. I wonder how Brian will play it. I'm sure Brian will probably take that into account, to be honest. Brian knows more than most of us when it comes to World's Strongest Man with his complete experience. So I'm sure he'll be able to deduce who will be good invites for Smo and who might not be. So hopefully he gets out some really interesting invites for Smo. I'm looking forward to it this year. I don't think it would ever happen, but a Mitch, Paddy, Trey podium would be amazing. That would be awesome to see Paddy and Trey on the podium for me. I'd be super happy with that. I don't see it happening, but it would be super cool. James saying Trey no suit, pulled 2 more reps than everyone in a suit. I know, I think the suit was messing people up. I think the suit fucked up Austin Andrade. I think the suit was just messing loads of people up. I think a lot of people might have done better if they didn't do a suit, to be honest. I think we should take a leaf out of Trey and Andre's book and just sack them off for deadlift for reps. I don't think they're necessary. I think the athletes should go on suit strike for the next deadlift for reps event. I think Bryce will get an invite for Smo, maybe Tom Evans. You know, I think Bryce would be very suited for Smo, and as would Tom Evans, but I could see a lot of backlash coming if Brian invited those two but didn't invite some of the people in the World's Strongest Man final, which, whether that be fair or not, I could see some backlash coming from that. How old is Paddy? I believe he's 27, but I could be wrong. I'm sorry if I've made him older than he actually is, but I believe 27 is the correct number. Luke's deadlift will be his downfall. I can see him 9th or 10th. It was already questionable, but the weight loss seems to have brought his deadlift event even further down. Yeah, Luke's going to struggle on that deadlift, I think. Anyone you feel particularly concerned about in the finals? Overall bad events, potential for any zeros? Not really. I think the events are going to be just very, very bogged down. I think everyone's capable to do most of the events. I don't know. I think the potential only zero we might see is Paddy on the Flintstone lift, because I think they're opening the Flintstone at 200 kilos, which is going to be quite a big ask for Paddy, I think. I think he has a very good shot if he nails that split jerk at getting it, because I believe he's done 180 split jerk in training from blocks. But 200's a big jump, and for someone who's never touched that type of weight overhead before, it is a big ask. So I think on that event specifically, Paddy is going to struggle if they open at the 200 kilos. I think they're planning on doing so. Will saying, I'd love to see Bryce at Smo. Being massive and durable is a huge advantage there. Yeah, I think he'd do fantastic at Smo. Really, honestly do. I think, yeah, Bryce has a fantastic chance. It's just a massive man. I think give Bryce another year and we'll be seeing him at a lot of the big shows. David saying, given their placement after the heats, we'll probably see Tom and Mitch square off on the first event. Zerch carrying to arm over arm. That should be an exciting start for the two favourite athletes. Yes, it should. And I think it's perfect for both of them having each other as a pacemaker on that event. Because it's always good. Like I think Paddy said it in his video. You want to go up against the fastest guy in a loading race or a medley of some description. Because if you can pacemake with them, then you know you're doing well. Avery saying Reno's pulled 480 on 18 inch. Does anyone know how his Flintstone is? Yes, does anyone know how Reno's Flintstone is? Is he a split jerker? Is he incredibly good overhead? Is he very explosive as a push presser? Do we have any info whatsoever about Reno's Flintstone lift? Because I would love to know some. I really would. Oh. Is competitor order determined by overall placement or just the previous event? In general, I think it's previous event until you get to the last event, and then it's overall placement. I think that's how Worlds likes to do it. That's what they did in the heats anyway. So I think, yeah, it's a previous event until we get to the Atlas Stones, and then it's overall placement. I reckon. That's my guess. Alright, we're at 100 concurrent viewers and 50 likes on the stream, which means half of you haven't clicked like on the stream, so please go and do so. If I don't see that number start going up, I probably won't do anything. I'll just bring it up again in a few minutes' time. So if you want me to stop waffling about liking the stream, just get it done and I'll shut up. Obviously, it's an invitational comp, but it would be disappointing if Brian went biased and inviting more lower performing Americans over high performing international athletes. Yeah, I mean, Brian said there's a qualifying system now from the podiums of each of the majors, but yeah, it would be disappointing to see that, I think. Christopher saying, one thing nobody seems to have mentioned, Mitch vastly underperformed in the deadlift for reps. The same thing could happen on the 18-inch and may shake things up hard. I disagree. Mitch underperformed on the deadlift for reps because of a strap issue, as did a lot of the people in the heats. Whereas on the 18-inch deadlift, figure of 8 straps are allowed, so that is not going to be an issue. And I think all of Mitch's training pretty much has been on 18-inch pulling, so I think he will be just fine. But, you know, I could be wrong. Ginger Naught liked. Thank you very much. Everyone needs to smile. I feel called out, but you deserve it. Again, yeah, thank you very much. Danny saying, English strongman in particular is in such a great place. Have 10 to 15 top guys who can compete at world's level. Was weird not having Bish here, and also Kane, who could have done very well. Yeah, that's exactly. We have 4 great English athletes at this World's Strongest Man, and we're still missing the likes of Graham Hicks, Adam Bishop, Kane Francis. Ben Glasscock is knocking right on the door of being at this level. You know, I've probably missed some more people as well, but there are loads of... Like, the depth of talent in England right now, in the whole of the UK, is absolutely massive. England's Strongest Man is going to be a very interesting competition. Raving David, if Tom gets 4 World's Strongest Man, will they bring the event to Scotland? I bloody hope so. Just anywhere that isn't in America and is closer to the UK, please. Christopher's saying, interesting. I do think the strap issue was something of an excuse. He was hitching that 8th rep hard, but we will see how it goes down. Yes, but if you've ever had a strap issue, if you're like... This is the thing that I was trying to explain the other day. With the deadlift, you get it to that point, and even with a slight hitch, but if you're trying to lock a deadlift out and your straps are opening up and the bar's going down, like, you're stuck, you can't do anything. So the hitch wasn't for a lack of strength, it was just the fact the bar was moving in the opposite direction of where he needed it to do. Obviously, I could be completely wrong, but that's exactly what would happen with a strap issue, is you'd start hitching it hard because the bar just stops moving and you're pulling your straps off rather than moving the bar. But again, I could be absolutely wrong. But yeah, apparently the bar was slippy, as Bronshop's saying. MST Shane saying the same thing. Like, yeah, it looked nasty. Apprentice Alex saying, who do you think is the most lewd name in Strongman? Glasscock, Poundstone, or Fister? Oh, I have to say, Glasscock is a great one. I love that. Good old Crystal Dick. Poundstone's great as well. Fister's great. There are plenty of others as well. I didn't follow the non-major events as much. Are there any up-and-comers who you think didn't go to World's Strongest Man who could make finals next year? That is a really good question, and I will have a think. I think Kane Francis, once he's back from injury, has a very, very good shot. I'm not sure if Kane is still really an up-and-comer. I guess he is, just from the fact we haven't seen him too much at like the top level, but Kane's awesome. Like, once Kane is back doing bits, I think Kane's someone who could make the final in the future for sure. Oliver saying, I think Graham Hicks could win the Arnold's or Smo if he ever got an invite. Static show would suit him much better than a Giants or Worlds. Yeah, Graham is one of the most statically strongest people there is, to be honest. Avery saying, Reno doesn't post on social media, so my overhead research failed. Yeah, I haven't seen anything. All I can find for Reno on overhead is the 150 kilo log for 7 reps. Yeah, oh, it's going to be interesting then. A complete unknown on this event. How exciting. Oh, yeah, Schoonwinkle absolutely is up there with the most lewd. Schoonwinkle is a fantastic name. I absolutely love it. Novikov next year can make the final. Yeah, well, Novikov's already won it, so he's hardly an up-and-comer, but 100% agree that he can make the final next year if he's back to his health. Is that David Shamey you're on about, Gray? Yeah, the Russian guy. Yeah, he seems pretty damn good as well. And a 90 kilo dumbbell for reps with no rep count listed. Interesting. Bronshop, love that he doesn't post, comes in and mogs. I do and I don't, because I love watching content, but yeah, it is kind of cool to see. How much thought do you think the social media guys put into the weights they show in training prior to the events? I think some way overthink it, and I think some just don't give a shit. Like, I think you should go down the don't give a shit route because, you know, no one actually really cares who's posting what at the end of the day. But some, I for sure think, are putting things out strategically, for sure. Charlemagne saying, I saw something where he did a 200 kilo behind the neck jerk, but I'm sure he is far capable of more than that. Interesting, okay. I'm saying, oof, got kicked right in the Schoon Winkle. Yeah, you don't want your Winkle schooned, that's for sure. James saying, not going to happen anytime soon, but 3 more years in America, 2 more at Myrtle Beach, and 1 in Florida at least. Good lord, unhappy. I swear there's only 1 more in Myrtle Beach, no? Or am I wrong there? Yeah, I have no idea. I just want it to be out of America, man. I really do. The time zones are killing me. But also, I'd love to go. Like, if it was in the UK or somewhere near the UK, I'd love to be there. I'd love to go. It looks like so much fun. It's just so expensive to get to the States. But anyway, we are at 5 o'clock. We have been on an hour and a half. So I think that is where I am going to leave it. Give us all 45 minutes or so to chill out before the finals kick off. So yeah, as I said, if you guys enjoy the streams, enjoy my coverage, go down below, click like on it and subscribe. But anyway, yeah, I'll catch you guys in another live tomorrow before the final day of World's Strongest Man, and I will see you all in Loz and Liz's live chat later as well. So thank you very much for tuning in, and I will catch you later on.